Never mistake knowledge for wisdom. One helps you make a living, the other helps you make a life. Hello, everyone. I'm Seth Streeter, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to our Wisdom Share, where we will be reimagining our ideal retirement. Retirement is not the end of the road, it is the beginning of an open highway. And I like thinking about that kind of expansive road ahead that we all get to navigate and play whatever music we want and eat whatever snacks we want on that open road. So today is going to be a 90-minute virtual program. We are here to interact with each other. We will come together as a large collective group. We have over 100 people joining today and crowdsource some of your best ideas to help brainstorm a particular dimension of retirement. Retirement is when you stop living at work and start working at living. We're here to think about how we can live our best lives. And yes, Mission Wealth spends a lot of our time doing the financial planning and forecasting to ensure you're going to have financial security in retirement. But we know that there's a lot more to living than just financial security.
Hi, I'm Jan, and I'm the spokesperson for family. I guess an overarching theme was trying to be present and appreciate and be grateful for the connections that we have. So we really realized how family was really the bedrock upon which we stand. And as the world kind of got smaller, family kind of got bigger.
Hi everyone, I'm the spokesman for Intellectual. My name is Brandon Baiamonte. First thing that we talked about was reading nonfiction books. We had some travelers in our group, learning a different language or learning a new skill, such as an instrument, volunteering at a library or a museum. Somebody mentioned that they train dogs to be guide dogs. And then one person mentioned video games, so playing video games with the grandchildren.
Hi, Seth. I am the spokesperson for Impact. We had a great conversation about really even after retirement being able to utilize your skills and give back. We're involved in so much growth in our town, so it's leading to a lot of homeless problems and how we can kind of not only help those that are homeless, but help the city as well. I know personally I am a big animal person, so I try to give back by not only volunteering at no-kill shelters, but I also, within the past week, have found 3 stray dogs that I have found the owners to. So I like to impact wherever I can.
There's such a huge shortage of volunteers in the many nonprofits that are in Santa Barbara County. I suggest going to NPRN, which is the Nonprofit Resource Network, and looking to see what those opportunities might be if you're interested in nonprofit.
Also how you invest is a way to make an impact. If you're buying organic produce, do you necessarily want to be investing in pesticide companies? Maybe not. So you could always speak to your Mission Wealth advisor and make sure your portfolio is aligned with your values. Telling your story, like that's something I think about. We have these estate plans, which are these 2-dimensional documents, but are we telling like our story, the biggest lesson I learned, or the biggest struggle I had to overcome? What are my top values? Sharing some of those 3-dimensional aspects of yourself is a way to make an impact within your family. So be thinking about impact both in the community and globally, but also closer to home.
Hey, Seth. So we had a really good discussion about the financial dimension of wealth. Number one is just feeling comfortable that you're living within your means. I know that we build out financial plans and we talk about sustainable levels of spending, you feeling that your personal spending is sustainable. I also say be aware of inflation and the impact it has on your expenses. One of our participants brought up the boat slip for her sailboat. That goes up every year pretty significantly. Just knowing how your specific inflation for your costs might differ from just broad inflation. Also look for opportunities to reduce unnecessary costs. Also, one of our participants is nearing retirement. It's okay to work a little bit longer in a career as long as you feel aligned, and also being strategic about taking advantage of things like vesting RSUs or vesting stock options to make sure that you feel that when you do retire, it'll be well timed. After retirement, it is okay to continue to work if you feel that it's on your terms and that you're getting more out of it than just, the paycheck. And then additionally, having a cash buffer to protect in case of a stock market downturn goes a long way to just protect and feeling that, your monthly income won't be impacted if we did hit a downturn in the markets. And then lastly, know what you're spending your money on. For example, one of our participants said that, feel like there might be spending too much with, trips or renovations or stuff like that, even though their advisor says that the spending is sustainable and they actually continue to spend more. But knowing where those expenses are going, and even then, certain expenses are great. Like if you're spending money on your grandkids, that's a well-aligned expense that outside of just impacting the balance sheet, that's impacting the other dimensions of wealth that we're talking about. Also spending money on things like a gym membership or supplements or things that make you feel good.
Also communicating with family about wealth, talking to them about how they can be stewards of wealth and teach them the lessons you've learned. So kind of, again, paying it forward to the next generation through just your wisdom and your personal experiences. They could be failures or successes.
This is Jeff. I'm happy to be our spokesperson. Talking about health and physical. One item that stuck out for me, the saying "making lemonade out of lemons." And we had a participant share that they had COVID earlier this year, and symptoms were just long lasting. And going to a doctor every 3 months to try and have better health overall. Making lemonade out of lemons, I think, is a great term. Health and trying to improve health, as we age. Another item, we had a participant who lost their spouse. Using that as motivation for exercise, better sleep, trying to improve overall health. Third item, not delaying medical procedures. We had a participant who had a hip replacement, and within 3 months was back out there hiking the trail. And so the message being, things are causing you pain, don't delay a hip replacement.
Hi everybody. Tom was sharing his appreciation for the national parks because he has that interest in nature, and he has been volunteering doing trail maintenance in his local community. So these are the people that when they go on a hike, they put all the tools, shovels in their backpack to make that hike that much harder to take care of the trail for the rest of us. Terry was saying how he loves his environment because it allows him to see his 4 grandkids. He's able to spend less time commuting in his car, so he's able to spend more time with his community. I was sharing how I love the natural sunlight in my apartment. I love the physical warmth that it brings, and also the light throughout the day. And out the front, I have these great oak trees that kind of like lift through the sidewalks in a way. And I also appreciate the environment for being able to pop into work and collaborate with my fellow mission wealthers.
We had a talk last year by Andrew Mellon who talked about decluttering and how by getting rid of stuff and keeping what you love the most can really create a whole different experience within your exact same home. So if you haven't watched that inspired talk, I invite you to do so.
So fun. It was just really good. Really, it was a pleasure meeting with everyone in this group. So planning things, going out there, buying your World Series tickets for the Dodgers. He didn't say that, but that's me saying that to him. Buying tickets, whether it's for travel, setting intention, concert tickets, planning trips, and also that he's been playing tennis, finding new things to do, especially during the pandemic period. We always hear someday. The road to someday leads to a town called nowhere. Part of the process of planning can be exciting in and of itself. If you have a trip planned a month, 2 months from now, talking about it and looking to see where you're going to travel, what stops are you going to make, looking at the Lonely Planet, that can, it's like dropping, quote, a rock in a stream, and the excitement and the planning around it starts to expand. Budgeting for travel. We do financial plans, and a lot of us put budgets in there for traveling. Barbara said something very simplistic but beautiful: having joy in daily life. Yes, it's important to plan different things, but every day is a lifetime in miniature. And as we wake up, and we're not guaranteed the amount of days we're going to have. So try and find whatever the easiest things are. And I think that's really come front and center during the pandemic period, that things were taken away. Making sure to be focused on that meditation, breathing, just the simple of things to increase our awareness and appreciation of everything that's around us on a daily basis. Dina said, make an intentional effort to spend time with your friends. We have family around us, but we miss talking to our friends. And once again, we had that taken away during the pandemic. Shane brought up a good point. What would this have been like 30 years ago without Zoom or WebEx or anything to that effect, or cell phone? And Bruce pointed out that he has a fire pit in the backyard outdoors, and he's gotten more use out of that in the past year and a half than he ever has, having people over, outside, just enjoying one another's company. Look, it's the simple things that matter. Try and find the fun in whatever it is. Not every day is fun. Not every situation is fun. But when we have those moments of clarity and ability and time and gratitude, let's just enjoy that.
Hi, everybody. It's Greg Prince here. I'm an advisor out of Santa Barbara. Henrietta had retired after 50 plus years in nursing. And what struck a chord with me was, she said what was one of the hardest things she had to do was retire. But that pull of travel and wanting another phase of her life, ultimately let her make that decision. But, I hope that I'm in that position where, man, it's going to be tough to retire because I love my job so much. You don't have to wait to retire. Like, she's thinking, hopefully she can get to a point where she can do some more work where it might be a nonprofit. It might not be as motivated by compensation. Point is, you can make a change. Stu had mentioned in the chat that he's working 10 hours a week. Now, it's probably easier than any other time in history that you can work part-time. So it doesn't have to be this digital switch from working to not working.
Hello, everybody. I'm Brian Sotak, and I'm a partner and an advisor here at Mission Wealth. So our group covered the social dimension. And as we all know, during the last year and a half or so, this dimension hasn't been really the easiest bucket to fill up, given the circumstances. The Elks Club. Jim Deeks mentioned that this is kind of a place where you can leave any differences at the door and just kind of be with like-minded people. It's not something where you go and talk about politics. It's just a lot of fun. Rotary Club was another organization that was mentioned. Playing bridge or poker, both in person with friends or family or online. Joining a local health club. Playing golf, playing pickleball, which is a little bit easier on the body and a little bit more social than tennis. Exercise classes, just kind of being out there and being healthy. Going on walks or hikes with friends. I know this is one that Seth loves to do on a weekly basis. Reoccurring Zoom happy hours, whether it's with old friends or family, college roommates, getting together on some type of reoccurring basis, whether it's monthly or quarterly. Volunteering. One of the members volunteers at a local bird refuge. Another one at the Natural History Museum. Meeting other retirees at these type of events can be something that's very additive. And then overall, the retirement communities, they can be a lot of fun. They really are for all ages. And oftentimes these retirement communities are really the most social of anybody.
I think a lot of it is, if we feel isolated, we've talked to clients that maybe have gone through losing a spouse, or maybe they've moved or their kids moved away. It can feel really isolating, especially during those transitions. So I would just say, reaching out to a friend, joining a group, taking that brave first step will really open doors to new connections for you. Could be going to church, could be joining, a volunteer group or a hiking club. So I would just encourage everyone, if you're feeling kind of alone and would like to expand your circle, feel free to reach out. And people love to connect with others.
My name is Long Tran. I'm an advisor here at Mission Wealth. And we talked about the emotional aspect, managing things like stress, the quality of your sleep. Some of the stressors, they actually had fairly recently moved up near Diamond Springs, which is very close to where the Calder fire was raging out of control up until very recently. Obviously, some stressors there. Someone else in our group shared that they are navigating the path to retirement, and they're kind of knocking on its door right now and trying to figure out that transition. And a big life transition obviously can also bring a lot of stress. We talked about managing your emotional health there. One of the tips I think that all of us agreed on was setting up some sort of plan or real schedule, whether it's daily, weekly, whatever it is. Going for a walk, something even as simple as that, but really having that plan in place helps with your stress levels and helps with managing your emotions in a lot of different ways. In a lot of our daily lives now, there's so much information available all the time. You're seeing news, everything on your phone. Just kind of thinking about all of that and taking a step back in many ways to understand that sometimes that's not healthy for your emotional health. So just managing your stress and managing your emotions that way, where you're not constantly getting bombarded with news, whether it's good, bad, and all of these different things that are going on in our lives. Also taking care of your physical health. And then I think both clients that I talked to in my group actually brought up a great point of also just being somewhat flexible and adaptable. Obviously, a well laid out plan is great. I can almost guarantee not everything will go according perfectly to your plan. And obviously that brings some emotional stress as well. So just being adaptable and understanding that not everything is probably going to go according to your exact plan, whether it's retirement, renovating your house, moving, whatever it may be. It's important to celebrate your accomplishments as well, in terms of managing your emotions and kind of taking a step back in many ways to take a look at the bigger picture.
Hey Seth, it's Steph Bruno, and we had a really good group in the spiritual dimension. And one of the things we talked about is that it may change over time. So maybe being open to the fact that our spirituality could change. A lot of times we're influenced by our parents and then develop our own spirituality, but also personal events could impact that. So just being open to that. Carrie shared two, I think, really nice stories about one. He had an aunt who lived to 102, and they did a fabulous celebration of life. So that was also a reminder of a long life and a life well lived, and also a coming together of people, which he felt very spiritually connected to. And then also being exposed to other people's environments. So we went from a corporate environment to a different environment where he had exposure to a lot of different people, and that he felt increased his spirituality. And we also talked about how having a daily practice of either prayer or meditation can help you feel connected to a larger sense of purpose or connectedness. And I would like to invite Danelle to share. She had a really neat exercise for that I think would be helpful for the group. So I would like her to share that.
Yes, we were talking about the importance of prayer or meditation and how sometimes it can be hard to remember like who you're including in all of your prayers or not wanting to forget about certain people. So our pastor at church was talking about this the other day. So there's the 5-finger prayer. So you have your 5 fingers and your thumb is your finger that's closest to you. So when you think about praying, you think about praying for those who are closest to you, your immediate family, your immediate closest friends. And then you have your pointer finger. You think about praying for those who are in leadership. So this might be leadership at your company. It might be leadership at your church. It might be politicians, people in government, praying for our president, praying for Congress, praying for local government officials. And then you have your middle finger, and I won't make the sign, but you all know what it is. So praying for your enemies and your adversaries, praying for people that you don't always get along with. God tells us to love everyone and to pray for everyone. And then there's the ring finger, and the ring finger is our weakest finger. So think about praying for the weak, the sick, the suffering, the hungry, the poor. I think about praying for the people in Afghanistan. I think about praying for people in Louisiana. And then you've got your pinky finger, which is your smallest finger. And so praying for children, your grandchildren, your nieces, your nephews, or just youth in general, the generation of young people that are experiencing COVID and, haven't been in school for 1.5 years, for example. So I felt that was a really helpful way to think about prayer.
That's wonderful. I think of the spiritual framework is being beyond ourselves, and that 5-finger strategy really helps you think about people beyond yourselves.